And we're live. With a great start. So, we do have a pricing change, but we do use a free version, so it doesn't really impact us. Actually, I don't know why. I mean, what they offer in their pricing. Is this said somewhere? I don't know. And I don't really care right now. So let's grab the chat. There it is. There it is. So we can go. Where to put it? All right. So we were designing basic faction tools. So created a task component, and now we want to be able to create more tasks. Okay, but the task component I do think isn't fully implemented. Like the resource lacks a few things. Because if we do check the task resource, let's take one for example here. We do have the duration and the type. Maybe trolls isn't a very cool idea for the type, and it could be faction, but that would imply changing it, which is probably not very useful right now. So what we could add, maybe, is the reward. But the problem is that not every type of task is going to have rewards. The same kind of rewards. Like cultivation, for example, is mostly all about getting one cycle, one after the other. Meanwhile, trolls can grant more reputation. So at the moment, I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. And yeah. Maybe we can just add a reward, which can be used when it is used, or just be ignored. Like, it's not a big deal to ignore it. So, after duration, we will have variable reward. And by default, it's going to be 1. And yeah, we can just do whatever we want with this. The cultivation is going to have 1. And this one's going to have 4. Okay. So, we will need a progression system. A progression system that will pretty much unlock new tasks, new skills, new skill levels when we do reach specific points, right? Like whenever you get a faction reputation rank, you get some skill levels in reward. So we will need a full progression system. So here, design a progression system is what we will be doing. Okay, so let's actually try to be... yeah. Let's try to be organized, but what is kind of weird is that Kraken didn't notice any change. Well, it should have at least 1. Because right there we did change task 3. It's kind of weird that Kraken is spotting that. Tasks? Huh. Maybe I need to save? Okay. So those were not saved. So resources, we change the abstract and the task, and we're just gonna say that we did add a new property to tasks. Task resource. Okay, so now we want to work on the progression system. So let's start tracking time. And yeah, I think we're good. So we can work in different ways when it comes to having a progression system. And I usually like to have kind of booleans which keep track of whatever is unlocked and what is not unlocked. All right. So we might need to create a singleton anyway. Let's create a singleton for the progression. So folder progression. As usual, we create a new scene. A new scene progression. And its usual script. So I just have a default signal here to make the region creation a little bit easier. All right. So how is this gonna work? It's gonna work very closely with the data. Very much. So we will create a data progression script. Data progression. Okay. So this, what we're doing right now, we're basically implying that the player can't go back in terms of unlocking things. I'm going to explain this in a little bit further, because if you want to have a progression system which is kind of different, you will not be able to use the booleans in the same way that I do. So here we sort of imply that when the player is ranking up in reputation in a faction, the player can't go down, which is important. So this way, we don't really have to track. I mean, once we have unlocked it, we can stop thinking about it altogether, which is kind of interesting. But if for some reasons in your game you can have the opportunity to rank down, then you will kind of need to have the unlocking or the locking situated in the object itself, right? So let's say that being reputation 3 unlocks a task, then that task is going to have its very own thing to know when it is unlocked or not. So right now we do have quite a lot of resources for tasks. And I'm thinking maybe we could update this a little bit to create nodes instead. Because having nodes is way much easier than having just resources. Because in nodes, we can add a lot of things, a lot of functions. That could be interesting to do at some point. Like get rid of the entire resource system. So I'm not so sure. Yeah, maybe it's actually a way better approach. Like we get rid of progression altogether. Let's just leave this progression debug as a boolean right there. We did that. We do add progression to data so that we don't have to forget about it. I mean, forget it. So data progression. Data progression. And now what we could do really is create nodes for the tasks. So we do have a task singleton. And maybe in there we could just create tasks. That could be interesting. So let's try. That would be task 01. Okay. Do we want to give it more details in name? Cultivate skills. Cultivate skill. Okay. And then what do? We actually create an entire script for that. That's a task. It has a resource, a key, progress, okay, and skill key. Interesting. So maybe that we could just keep that as a well, we don't necessarily need that. The skill key here is very specific to tasks cultivating skills. Okay, let's try to actually create a new script. So scripts, folder tasks. Okay. And here we would have task 01, cultivate skill. So from there, we will extend task. Which means we will have a few settings already. So let's clean everything. We have task 1 and task, okay. So we do have a resource, a key, and a progress. So we can go with that in many different ways. We could just leave the properties like this. Or we could use getters and setters like get functions. I usually think it's better in many situations, we'll just need that to extend node, of course. So, oh, by the way, we did change the task very well, so let's cancel this, and maybe we can create a rework task system. And I don't know, to be fair, I want a lot of time here. Let's go with 2 hours, just to be sure. So, let's see what one task we'll have. Here we will have the get title, obviously. I do think we do need to underscore those things just to be sure. The skill key is going to be gone, because that will be specific to task 01. We will have get description, just like the get title. So here return resource.description and get key, actually. Oh, you do need underscores, except that this isn't saved. There we go. 1, 2, 3. So resource.key. What else do we want to get? I think that's it. Key. Oh, the progress. In fact, we actually don't necessarily need the key or the progress in there, because the key is in the results, right? Those two can just go. Here we will have get progress. So that's going to be a float, I believe, because progress is used for a progress bar, and progress bar use floats. Yep. Actually, it's supposed to be an integer because it's something you can't divide. Alright. So here we need to return progress. So progress we do need to create. Duration, however, comes from the resource. Or we could go with a completely different route. And instead of returning just the progress and have the progress and the duration separated, we could return a vector 2, vector 2I. So we do return, like we would have variable vector vector 2I, and here we would have the progress and the duration, so resource dot duration, and let's just return that. That's for the first part. Here we are cultivating skill. So in fact, cultivating skill has duration of 1, so we don't necessarily need to return progress. Now that I think about it, this will be useful for any task with duration superior to 1. But anyway. Maybe get duration could be useful. But we do need the skill key, that's for sure. So, when we set the task, we want the skill key to be given at the same time. So maybe we want the request to update the skill key. Yes. Let's try that. Update skill key. That's actually a void. We're updating the skill key, we just want skill key to be equal to new key. And now that we do actually have this new node, we can create a method that will trigger whatever must be triggered when the task is completed. Something like trigger completion, trigger completion. And what this will do for this one, we're just gonna have, let's actually check because we do already have this, I believe. So, complete task. If the current task is task 1, then we want to do that. And this is exactly what we want to do. So trigger completion, key reference progress skill, and we do send underscore skill key. Current task is not declared. We want to progress skill. Why do we have current task? Okay, we just need to send the skill key, I believe. Alright. That should be good. So now we need to think about what are the methods which are going to be common with all the tasks. Like get title, get description, get key. Let's actually do that. And here we need to return a debug because that's the to be overridden thing. So we're returning no description, get key. So that's the task key. Let's see, maybe we can try to order those a little bit. So here when we have no key, there's going to be debug as well. What next? Get progress. Yep. So yeah, let's return what one by default. Get duration. And so that's an int. So by default, if we have nothing, we will return 1. Trigger completion. Yep, we want that one as well. Here we're gonna pass. Update skill key. So that's unique to cultivate skill. So here, in ready, I guess, or in init at least, we want to set the resource. So here resource is going to be equal to load task 01. Okay, great. It seems correct. Except that some people will be very not pleased. It's declared but never used in this class. Yes, that's kind of the point. Well, let's go with get progress. We're gonna return progress for the sake of. Maybe actually we can make sure that we have here, we want to return resource.description, resource.key, get title, so that's resource.name, and we're good. So thanks to all this, actually, those 3 guys can be gone. Resource duration. All right. So even progress can be removed from here. Get duration, that can go on the other side. Get title, get duration. We don't want to return 1, we want to return resource.duration then. Okay. So that's actually easier, I guess. To have all this kind of automated? Yeah, sort of. So we do have some people who will be very unpleased with what happened, so let's just start the game and we will know who those guys are. Oh, really? Yes, I knew there would be something. So set true. Yep. So let's see what we can do here. New task. We don't need to create a new task anymore. However, we do need to find a way to get the active task. So maybe this guy here. Yes, active task. Let's see. Active task. And that's going to be one of those. So let's start simply by grabbing the task 1 cultivate skill. and see. We have active task. Yeah, we'll have a few to rename. So let's actually use replace in here. We want to find current task and replace it with active task. Okay. Yeah. So we will have a lot of refactoring to do here. Let's start just by allowing... We do have the tasks here, so... We kinda need this script to be aware of those tasks under it. So maybe we can create a function that will get all the tasks. That will return an array of tasks. And just return get children. That's it. And we can't return an array of node because it's an array of tasks. Yeah. So we can do a little filter here, but I think it's very unnecessary. Or can we infer it as an array of tasks? Would you allow that? Yep. So that's a good thing. So now that we do have all the tasks, we want to find one. So we want to be able to get a single task with a key, and that will return a task. So we get all the tasks. And we kind of want to find we have a variant here. So what we will do instead is we could use dictionary. Let's actually use a dictionary. So we will have a variable tasks, which is an array of tasks. No, it's a dictionary. What am I doing? Dictionary. And what we do with that is we create the key task01, and its value is get shine. No, that doesn't work. So how do we do that? We'll do that differently. We will leave it empty. And we will initialize it. Yeah, it's okay. So we want to initialize dictionary. Which is requiring nothing. All right. And we will get the tasks. So I probably don't need that. And to be fair, getting all the tasks, yes, that I will allow it. So var tasks array of node, well, array of task really, and we get the tasks. And what we do with that is that for each task, we'll create an entry in the dictionary. So we want tasks. Here we want a string which is equal to the task dot key dot get key, and the value is going to be equal to the task itself. So thanks to this little script here, we should have the dictionary filled with all the tasks. So we want to initialize dictionary, and actually that will take underscore. So you have to go down. You will go down in initialize, well, sets complete, and here. There we go. Okay, let's go back from the top. Get selected task name. Oh, I will leave it like this. It seems fine. Well, not really. It is selected task dot get title. Get title needs to be renamed right now. Get name. So get name, function signature doesn't match. It is. Is it because it exists? That's kinda... Oh yes, because nodes do have name. Okay, never mind, so we can't change that. So let's go back. So here, let's get title. Get the active task name. Active task, return idle. If active task. So here we can just get rid of that. And we want to return active task get title. Except that we do need to add something specific to the task one. Because here get title returns the name, but when we cultivate a skill, we want to add something. So because we do want to add something, idle, we do need to change the behavior of this method. So it will work as in return the resource.name, and we want to add something which is something like the skill name, because I don't remember exactly what we did. So that's going to be db skills dot dictionary, and here we want the key, so we want skill key. That seems correct. Let's just check that. That was in tasks. Okay, this, oh no, here. Singleton task. We removed Where is the get name? It was, yes, just, oh no, it's cultivating and then the skill name. So we will change that right away. So we're cultivating this. Okay. Let's keep going. Get active task progress. If there is no active task, -1, maybe, why not? Otherwise, we return, well, here we can return the progress now. So we can return active task dot get progress. Get task is what we created. Reset. And okay. So, Fabrizio, don't have time to stay here, but I have been watching your videos. Great work. Well, thank you, and thank you for passing by, even though you do not have time. That's very nice of you. Thank you. As well as the great work thing. Reset selected task. That should work very normally here. And here we want to set the cultivation task. This is where things begin to be a little bit tricky. So set cultivation. Yes. Skill key string. Alright. So we'll have selected task. And that's going to be equal to the tasks. And here we're gonna find task 01 in it. Okay. Then we want to set the skill key. So here we will have selected task as task 01 cultivate skill, because that's basically what we do here. We want to set, no, we didn't create set key. Update skill key, so no, that's gonna be set skill key. Set skill key. And here we just transfer. So the progress doesn't have to be created. And the skill key we can ignore. And yeah. So it's a lot simpler what we have. A lot simpler. Set chores will work kind of in the same way. We will just have selected task, which is going to be equal to tasks and the key, so task key. And that's it. Should show progress bar. Yes, this will work the same, almost, if active task dot get duration. Complete task. So here now, what we're gonna do is just get the active task and trigger completion. Yes, exactly. Initialize dictionary, progress task. So we do need a progress. Okay, and we go downward. So progress should be initialized to duration. That's interesting to know. And in fact, maybe we should create this entire progress thing. So here, let's go back to task, progress. We need a ready thing. Well, not really, but progress. Let's initialize it to 1. And we kind of need to initialize the task, because what we did earlier is that we created tasks. And by creating tasks, we were resetting the duration and the progress, which we're not doing. So how can we do that? Maybe by having a reset. Like, we have 2 new methods. The first one is going to be reset, and the second one is going to be progress. So function reset. So that's going to be void, and progress is going to be equal to resource.duration. That's the reset. And the progress here, we'll just have progress minus equal 1. So because of that, we can now trigger the completion in there. We actually don't need the task manager to be taking care of that. Something like if progress is equal to 0, well, actually inferior or equal to 0, we want to trigger completion, and then we want to reset. Something like this, so that we don't need to take care of that in there anymore. The progress task is just active task dot progress, and that's it. Update active task. Okay. So if there's a selected task which is different than the active task, then we do change it. And on top of that, we want to reset it. Seems correct. On game time progressed, we update the active task and we progress task. That's great. So we have 3 warnings. Current task progress is declared but never explicitly used. Okay. So here, that's gonna be current task progressed. Do I need to give something with that? No. Task completed is declared but never explicitly used in the class. So this one is a little bit more tough. How to do that? Well, current task progressed. Oh, dot emit. My bad. My big bad. But yeah, I think we will do something very, very weird, but trigger completion. What we will do here is get tasks dot reference and task completed, and here we'll send resource.key. So, oh, dot emit, of course. That's twice in a row. Same mistake twice. But it doesn't really fix the problem here. So we're gonna use and ignore this. A new task is declared but never used. Yes. Indeed, we don't need that. So, that's quite a lot of changes. Let's find a new error. There is one. Yes. Get children as array of tasks. Okay, so that doesn't work. So what we're gonna do is get rid of that altogether and initialize dictionary, or just get children. So var task array of node is equal to get children. Let's try again. Non-existent function get current task name. Oh yes, maybe the user interface is going to be very confused. Get current task name. Oh really? In node tasks. Get current task name. Oh, because it's get active task name. That's why. So maybe we should run a replace. So that's active task. No, find current task and replace with active task. So let's see what we find. The signals. Okay, so I guess we're good. Actually. Okay. So this will not work. Oh, maybe actually it will. Almost. The brooming doesn't work because task 2 doesn't exist. That makes sense. But we had a problem here. Get title, DB skills. Yeah, we just need to grab the that's a skill, I believe. So we should be able to get some name in there. Name? No. Okay, I need to go check the DB skills. Actually, yes. Oh, that's because it's a skill resource. Yes, that's because it's a skill resource. And now we should have the name. Okay, so let's create the task 2 to see if we are indeed going in the right direction. Here we should be able to create task 02 grooming. So create a new script, task 02 grooming. That's gonna extend task. Right. And let's see what we do need. We do need to change trigger completion actually. And also here, task cultivation, trigger completion. We do want super. That's important. That's very important. So that's 2 brooming. We have function trigger completion. And what we want to do is also super. Well, no, super afterward actually. And we want factions dot reference dot progress reputation and super. And here we're gonna do the same thing, super afterward. Right, let's see. Tasks dot get key. Yikes. Trying to assign a value of type node to a variable of type task.gd. Yep. That's a little bit annoying, but Adam Smith is asking, what does super do? Never seen that before. Super is coding on the instructions of the class you are inheriting from. So, how this works basically is, let's create a canvas. You create a class definition which contains a method which is going to be do something. And that do something will print hello, for example. Then you have another class which is inheriting class here, right? So here we'll have, let's see, how can I do that? Inherits, like this. So because it's inheriting from class definitions, it does have to do something, right? This is what it does. And from there, you have different options. Option 1 is just leave do something as it is. So the option 1 is just to have it to be exactly the same. So the result is going to be hello, right? When you trigger do something from another class, it will print hello because it comes from the class definition here. The option 2 is to overwrite. So do something will do something different. Overwrite do something. That's pretty much it. And that will look like this. You print goodbye. And the result of that is goodbye. Well, actually there's no cat, but it's not important. Wow, that's difficult. That's the result. And the option 3 is to extend, do something. And when you do that, extend do something, so what you will do is print, you will just add super, basically. You add super, and what this does is it will go up in the inheritance to go fetch what is in there. So it will run everything in do something, and then it will go down. So it's still overriding, but what you're doing is you're taking what was above, and the result is going to be hello followed by goodbye, basically. So this is what super does. In the meantime, Yuri arrived, says hello, hi to you two as well, hope you're doing very well. How went you moving to the new place? Well, it's not stress-free, definitely not, because I'm sharing the place with 2 other guys. And I will have to get comfortable with streaming while someone is in the room, because how weird this may seem, it's actually very confusing and weird to be streaming when you have someone watching you and hearing you, which is very fun when you think about it, but that's what it is. And then Adam Smith about super. Oh, that's cool. Had no idea that was an option. That was very clearly explained. Thank you. Well, I went with the full explanation. So, to be fair, I don't use super very often. So I might be... I don't want to say wrong, but maybe some parts may be a little bit fuzzy. I mean, the only fuzzy part I do have is if you actually can have super triggered after your things, right? Like doing basically print goodbye and then have the super. But I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to do that. So that should be it. And here we have big problems. So let's create a new. So that's going to be nodes, because that's the part I don't like. So that's nodes, and we will have tasks. And that's going to be an array of tasks. Well, what if actually... No. That's it. Oh, no. I'm messing it up, but that's okay. Ugh. Why is that a problem? Task not declaring the current scope. There's no task. Yes, that's because node as task. Are we alright now? Yes. Oopsie. That was clearly. Yep. Okay, let's try again. Oh, come on. Okay. That makes sense. Except that I forgot one thing very important.
Please let me know what can I do for you. Usually when people come here,
That's going to be task 02. Okay, so game is... Is it gaming? It is gaming. Okay. Now let's see tasks. We're moving to brooming. And we are brooming. And we are progressing. So, alright. I do think we have made a major progress on this one. That's cool. So, oh, we have something in the debug. Get current task progress is not present. Alright. it is not present. Why though? I guess it's in tasks. Oh, because that's get active. Get active task progress. That's why. I thought I did research. Okay, let's try to find again. Current task, active task. No, that's right. So why? Okay. I'm a little bit confused again. But the debugger should be helping us with those things. Okay. So let's broom. Because brooming's cool. So now what we want to do basically is to create a new task, task 3, and we want it to be unlocked when we reach a specific rank. So okay, maybe let's take a little break. So 1 hour, I estimated 2 because I wanted to be having enough time, and that's alright. That's alright. Design the progression system. We actually I kind of can get rid of that because we don't need a progression system anymore. Handle multiple factions? Oh no, hell no. Hell no. So that's okay. That's done. I don't know when, but it was done. Handle multiple factions. Yikes. Design basic faction. Whoa. Design basic faction chores. Alright. Create more tasks. Huh. I will just create task 3. And that will be it for this one. So that's going to be my little break. Is that? Oh, that's right. Just put my thumb in my eye. Quite uncomfortable. Alright. How long was this stream? 1 hour. Alright. Maybe we can organize Kraken a little bit. So here, stage everything. And that's a rework. So recycle. And that's going to be task refactoring. And we're gonna push that. Right. Okay. So let's create a new task. Task 3. Train. Well, what is task 3? Training initiates. Oh no. Wrong thing. Okay, let's also start the timer. Let's go. So we need to create a script. Create a new script. Task 3. Training initiates. So maybe I should create a kind of a guide. Okay, so that's going to be guide to creating a new task. So I believe I have to do that. And first we want to overwrite or override. Oh, I think they both work. So I want to overwrite, no, create init to set the resource. Then we want to overwrite trigger completion. And 3, we want to add any specific behavior. Okay, seems correct. So we need to get, override trigger completion and 2 prime. Do not forget super in trigger completion, because that's a huge source of errors. Very often I do forget about the super when there's a need for one. So function init resource. I just find it okay. No, that's it. Pass name task 3 training initiates. I just find it a little bit sad that you kinda lack some auto completion sometime. So here we do have it, so that's right. But when you want to override a function, like trigger completion, for example, it's not here. So what we have here is factions.ref.progress reputation with resource.reward and super. But this doesn't take an argument. That's interesting. I'll take it. Where is it? Here. There we go. Oh, what do we do with the excess? Oh no. No, that's fine. That's actually fine. Excess should be dealt with. Except that I did not... Really? Oh, again, I did add the script. 3 times in a row. Yeah, except that we don't have it here. So... Task visualizer, what is that? Okay. Task component. Okay. So faction. We should have the trolls. Yes. Initialize tasks. So here, all right. I'm just gonna do that again. And maybe I will just take this and make it initialize task without an S. So that we have initialize task. And we do that. And here we have key. So instead of initializing task02, we initialize key. And what we do is initialize task02, and then task03. Okay, let's see. Training initiates, no description. Very cool. Very cool. So, oh no. I foresee a problem here. The problem being, okay, no, it can be done. It can be done. Just gonna recharge this little guy. So I do need to set the description first. So this duration 3 and reputation earned 4. So now what I need to do is to create a requirement. A requirement in terms of rank. So let's go in training here. In task, I'm gonna create is unlocked. That will return a boolean and that will return true. Okay. With that, task component will have something. We'll have something very simple if that's a problem again. I think we can get a task. If we go in there, in the singleton, we got rid of that. Okay, that's okay. But we can make it again. So get task. Wait a second. I'll be right back. All right. So I was at get task. Where was I? And a key, simple key, should allow us to return a task. So we return the actual tasks. What is it? Of the key. All right. And then with this task, what we can do, because of course it has to be useful somewhere, it is in the task component. And the injection task resource. So I guess I do need... Do I need both? No, technically I don't need the resource. I just need the actual task. And the results will come through as a result. Wait, why do I see something? That doesn't seem to update here. Let me see. Okay. Are you using a vector tree as a tuple? I do believe so. If by tuple you just mean having two variables in one, yes. That's exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so we do have a little bit of a change in there. So task, well, we're gonna send a task in instead of a task resource. So, yep. Resource be gone. The task.get title. Description. Okay, so now that we do have the new task, actually gotta make sure that it is correct in other places, so that we are setting the troll, that's alright. But when we initialize, that's the problem. It's not really a problem, but that's where. Okay. Yeah, initializing trolls. So here we don't just send that, but instead we inject tasks, ref, get task, and key. And that we should be good now. Okay. Let's see. Let's try. Did we break anything? We can schedule brooming. And we can schedule training initiates. Well, wait a second. We go to brooming and then we train initiates. Okay. And then if I go down twice, go brooming and get back, we're resetting. That's great. Gregorio says, hey, I just got in Godot and I made some Pong game. Do you want to see it in the showcase Discord? Absolutely. Absolutely yes. I'm very curious about those things. So please do.
And your family is still there now?
No,
Now that we have the component actually getting the task object, we can now work with what I wanted to do initially, which is checking. So if task that is unlocked, yes, task that is unlocked. Well, actually not. If task is not unlocked, then we want visible equal to false. So now, task 3, by default, will have function is unlocked, returning false. So now, that task should be hidden. Right, you can find it in the Godot Cafe Discord. I named the post Pong but cool. We'd love to know what you think, as someone who has more experience with Godot. We can check that very quickly. Okay. That's just a video, alright? So that's a screen, another screen I guess. So is that the ball breaking on the wall? I guess so, because we do have confetti on the left. Except the scores are not really showing, but that's right. I guess the video is clearer. But there are a lot of particles, that's nice. I don't know if this sound. Oh, and it's actually multiplayer. Alright, so you're playing with yourself, I guess. Yeah, there are quite a lot of cool animations. Spawn killing isn't cool. But yeah. I guess then it's just... And there's a little crown. So yeah, it's actually very nice. But what's really, I want to say, interesting to see is what the code looks like. I mean, that's the most interesting part. Like, is it very super messy or is it organized? That's because this kind of games, it's, well, first of all, it's very cool to finish it, of course. But then you want to see if you actually can apply very cool things behind the screen. I mean, the look of the game, the front.
No one's come back, and when you came around, it seemed like
The name sounds so Italian, because he is. You made many things, different nodes, so everything is modular. If you say so. I do have a little bit of trouble to visualize that right now, but yeah. I mean, if you don't do nodes in Godot, there's something wrong. Sort of. So yeah, there will be nodes, lots of nodes. Like, I mean, if you just look at what I'm doing right now in this sprint, today, I'm transforming my tasks into nodes in my nodes here, because it's cool. That's pretty much it. There's so much thing you can do with nodes. Is the music gone? No, it's just very shy. I will make a factorial clone using only one node. So I'm just gonna take the early, the beginning of the sentence. I will make a factorial clone. Good luck with that, like huge luck. I mean, we don't have the English equivalent to what we say in French, but people use good luck, but I don't mean luck. I mean good willpower, basically. Do you use many custom signals? A lot. An absolute lot. Like, they are everywhere. Like, I'm gonna use those right now, to be fair. So I'm gonna go in my factions, singleton, and I'm gonna see my signals in there. Yes, rank leveled up. So what I will do is task 3 is gonna be unlocked by checking the rank. So factions.ref dot is there's a method. Give me a second. There's a method. Get rank. Player as rank. So here in let me get in there. Oh, okay, wrong thing. So if player has rank, but what rank? That's the question. That's gonna be core disciple. So if the player has rank core disciple. So factions dot faction rank dot core disciple. And I'm just gonna return that. And now what I will do is task component. I'm gonna watch on rank leveled up. So when we're ready, I guess, factions.ref.rank leveled up. Connection. No. So on rank leveled up, we do want to check that. That's kind of messy, but that will do, I guess. To be fair, with your help, I already have a belt with building already working, but my code is still quite messy. So you have belts, that's very nice. I once thought about working on a mob factory project, but I stopped it very early because I actually had to choose what game I wanted to make for the second series of the channel, and that was Poke Clicker. But this one was kind of in a run, and really when I made some tries, that was very, very, very not easy. Definitely not easy. So yeah, very well done if you can do that. Signal sound very useful, but I'm having troubles understanding how to connect them with different nodes. The hardest part is just reaching the signal. So where is the signal and how do you reach to the signal? So I usually like to use singletons a lot, because this is very nice. This I will get rid of. You know what? Yes, I will get rid of that. Because it doesn't make sense. Where was I? I was saying, yes, the hardest part is to reach the signal. So it just gave me an idea. But yeah, I use singletons, and since singletons are accessible anywhere in the game, those signals can be accessed from anywhere. So that's pretty much how I work. Singletons, global access signals. Otherwise, they are most likely unpressed signals and those kind of signals which are within a scene, and they are you don't need. You need those much less, in my opinion. If you watch the first YouTube video in the idle tutorial, almost at the end, he shows you how. It's the intro 1 hour and 20-minute video. Do you mean like the crash course? Any idea about next video on the channel? Are you still planning to copy some existing game? Next video is gonna be idle reboot, how to make the village UI. That's going to be the next one. Are you still planning to copy some existing games? I guess I could. At the moment, I don't have any specific... Well, I'm working on 3D projects a little bit, which is inspired by Minecraft Skyblock. I will be working on that. So technically it will be copying a game, but not really, because there's no dedicated Skyblock game. But it's going to be copying a mod pack from Minecraft. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a series about it, but that could be what I will talk about if I talk about 3D ever. Because that's a great start. Okay, so here, this is done poorly. Task 3 will have its own signal. Well, actually, task will have its own signal. So, signal unlocked. So, task 3 is unlocked, alright. And here we will be watching. So, on, rank, leveled up. And here we want unlocked to be emitted when, well, let's do that differently. So I'm gonna have a variable. It's why is it going to be reversed? But I have to reverse this variable, otherwise I'm having name conflicts. So locked by default is going to be to true. And when we initialize, we'll have if. Well, maybe that's too soon. Maybe that's too soon. That's gonna go in ready. So if faction blah blah blah, we will have. No, we just have locked actually. Locked is going to be equal to faction. Does the player have this? and so it's going to be reversed.
You think about it,
Like this.
bad things happen to people.
And then we will be watching on rank leveled up.
You have a bunch of people who care about you so much that
So
they save you, fix
factions.ref.rank leveled up dot connect on rank leveled up. And here that's going to be a little bit a tricky one. So if locked and faction ref player, if the condition, then what we do is locked equal false and unlocked is emitted. And now that we are unlocked, we can go in the faction here and have on unlocked, and right there on unlocked. Where am I? I'm absolutely not in the right script. Ugh, what did I do? Okay, so task component here on task unlocked, and what we do here is visible equal true. So on ready task dot unlocked dot connect on unlocked on task unlocked, and I guess we're good. Task unlocked, and we can eventually do something to unplug this. Signal unlocked, yes, that's pretty much meant to be like this. All right. So let's catch up. Something I do a lot is having export variables for having access from different scripts, kinda like Unity. Yeah, it's cool to do that. I just try to avoid it as much as possible because it is less clear to viewers during videos that there are connections. Export connections are pretty much hidden, and people very often forget about it, and I just get a lot of comments about, oh, I have null here. I have a null error. And yes, you didn't set the export. So that's why I'm not using them that much. But with signals, you could do that too, but indirectly, right? They do have very, very, very different purposes. Export is when you do need to get access to something. The signals you will use when you need to react to something. Signals really have this cause-consequence logic behind them. So what you will do eventually is use export to get access to a signal and work with the cause-consequence. But signals in and of themselves do not make up for export. And then a script can fetch from that. So if you want any script to be able to fetch from a signal, you want that script to be a global or semi-global. So autoloads are global scripts and singletons are semi-global. Singletons are what I'm doing when I say, for example, let's go in, where is it? My task component here. I do have nothing. Yes, there we do. Tasks.ref Here I'm accessing a semi-global script. I'm accessing the task script when I do that, which is there. And I do have a video about singletons on my channel, because so far, I haven't seen a single person using singletons the same way I do. So I have a very unique way to do that. Okay, let's check what we've done. Property or key rank based on object of type null. Really? Data.rank. And there's a problem there? Let's see. Data. Factions. Rank. Yep. And what was the error? Here data is supposed to be faction, right? Yes, it is data factions. And then return data.rank. Why is it null? Why is data null? Data is equal ref data faction. That's confusing. Oh, it's because, okay, I got it. I guess I do have to do that. That's why. That's a loading order thing. But I don't know. Yes, that's alright. Interesting. So I could create a library of signals in a script and get them if it's global. Yes, I do believe people name that signal bus or bus event. Basically, you create a global script and you throw all the signals in there so that they can be read from and emitted from. The idea, if you kind of draw something about it, is that you have the global script. So you have the global signal bus. And here you have signal 1, signal 2. And what happens is that you will have random scripts which will basically connect. It will, okay, that was great. It will connect. Why is that like this? Does it take 2n? I don't know. It will observe signal 1, for example. So you have this little guy who will plug on this global signal to observe the signal. And you will have another random script that will just here trigger or emit signal 1. And they will both use the global access to do whatever they have to do. And that's the bus in the middle. But the way I like to do things is to have bigger scripts which are global or semi-global, which is the same thing on the end. And they do more than just having signals. But they do have the signals. They need to be globals. That need to be global. So let's just mash the button. And we can train initiates after 6 years, roughly. Let's reset that to see exactly when. Okay. 5 years winter, we can start training initiates. That's interesting. But here we did a lot of things. We have reworked and refactored some key components of the game. We haven't added any feature, but yeah, it's refactored in a cool way. Yes, we did added the fact that this is locked by default. And we do need to train 5 years to be able to do that. That we did do. Design basic faction chores. Alright, let's get rid of that. And there we go. Handle multiple factions. That will be necessary at some point. Let's just save the progress. So what did we do? We did a few things actually. So we do have no, actually task factoring is done. So that's gonna be new feature, task unlocking, plus UI rework. Let's go with that. Let's push that. Got to go have fun. Well, thanks for being here, and you do have fun in whatever you're doing. Unless it's sleeping. Well, you can't have fun while sleeping, can you? Okay, so the question is, do I actually have the motivation to do something as big as handling multiple factions? That's quite a lot. What day is it? Yes. So tomorrow, sadly, I will not be able to attend to the usual game jam. What we can do, however, which is not as fun, but we could do that. I will ask on the Discord if we do that, which is just doing the jam one day later. We will just pick the theme and have a 1 hour time frame to do that game. Because I kinda do like to do that once a week. But at the same time, I'm kind of thinking about this handle multiple faction things. Because we will need to handle it mostly within the safe system. Then once it is done, what we will be able to do is to just assign a faction to the player in the data, and everything will just take that assigned faction by default. The reason why I want to handle multiple faction is because I want the player to be able to quit the faction. So actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I might not need to do that at all. Because at any point we could think that if the player is yin or yang, it doesn't matter. The factions are going to work exactly the same. But the skill limit will be increased based on the rank, so that's okay. And then when you quit the faction, you just lose the ability to use the faction panel. So you do keep the skills that you have trained. The max level is now capped. So maybe this is actually to be deleted. So we do need to find a new task. So we could start working with the exploration system. But this, I'm not so sure what I'm going to do with that. Yet. I will have to think about it a lot. Off camera.
I serve nature. I'm the maker of fine graves.
Here. Oh, we could work on the skill unlocking or increasing levels when we rank up within the faction. So maybe we want to actually make the skills as nodes in the exact same way that we created factions. Maybe we want to do that. Because this would allow more complex behaviors for the skills. Because right now the behaviors of the skills are very, very, very simple. Yeah, I think I will leave it like this for today. So this way, the next time I can work on the skills. So that will be refactoring skills as nodes. And that should be a 1 hour task. If I make it tight. I'm gonna say 30 minutes just in case I do have to talk on the side about other things. And yeah. And I will probably just move and create a different stream for Path of Exile a little bit. That could be interesting. So anyway. To those who made it this far in the VOD, and those who are still here, thanks for watching this entire stream. Thanks for being there. I'm actually quite satisfied by the progress we made today. It's a very cool thing to refactor things. And I hope I will see you in another video. And yeah, thanks for passing by. And I will see you later. See you later, Yuri.